Ladies and gentlemen, as we stand on the edge of a brand new year, I want to talk about a concept that might seem simple on the surface, but is truly transformative, focusing only on yourself in 2025. Now, let's be clear, this isn't about being selfish or ignoring the needs of others. No, this is about tuning into the frequency of your own life. It's about centering yourself, reevaluating your priorities, and stepping into the power that is already within you. We spend so much time looking outward, comparing, competing, worrying about what everyone else is doing. But what if you turned all that energy inward? What if just for 1 year you gave yourself permission to be the center of your own universe? Let me tell you something, when you focus on yourself, you stop chasing and start creating. You stop waiting for validation and start giving it to yourself. And that, my friends, is where the magic happens. So as we step into 2025, I challenge you to ask yourself one simple question every day: what am I doing today to invest in me? You can't pour from an empty cup. This is a truth that so many of us overlook in the hustle and bustle of life. We push ourselves to the edge, sacrificing our mental, emotional, and physical health to meet deadlines, please others, and live up to expectations that are not even our own. But what happens when the reservoir within you runs dry? What happens when you've given so much to the world around you that there's nothing left for yourself? That's when everything else begins to crumble. 2025 is the year to flip that script. It's the year to understand deeply and fully that taking care of yourself is not a luxury, it's a necessity. When you prioritize your well-being, you're not being selfish, you're setting the foundation for everything else in your life to thrive. Start with the basics, your body. Are you giving it the nourishment it needs? Are you moving it in ways that keep it strong and energized? This isn't about achieving a perfect image, it's about treating your body as the vessel that carries you through this life. Then consider your mind. How often do you sit in silence, away from the constant noise of notifications and obligations, and just breathe? When was the last time you allowed yourself to process your thoughts without judgment or rush? Your mental health matters just as much as your physical health. In 2025, make it a priority to rest your mind as much as you work it. Meditate, journal, or simply take a walk in nature, whatever helps you connect to the present moment. Don't forget your emotional health. Too often we suppress our feelings to appear strong, to avoid conflict, or because we're too busy to deal with them. But ignoring emotions doesn't make them disappear, it only makes them louder in the long run. Give yourself permission to feel, to heal, and to seek help when you need it. Therapy, conversations with loved ones, or even moments of self-reflection can be life-changing when you prioritize your emotional well-being. And finally, nurture your spirit, whether it's through prayer, art, music, or time spent doing what you love. Reconnect with the things that make you feel alive. It's these moments of joy and connection that remind you why life is worth living. When you prioritize your well-being, you're not just taking care of yourself, you're positioning yourself to show up fully for the people and the dreams that matter most to you. You become stronger, more resilient, and more capable of navigating life's challenges. So let 2025 be the year you fill your cup and let it overflow with all the abundance and energy you deserve. In this fast-paced world, it's so easy to get swept away by the endless stream of noise that surrounds us. Opinions, judgments, comparisons, and distractions come at us from all directions, pulling us away from who we really are and what we really want. The truth is, when you allow all that external noise to dominate your thoughts, it becomes nearly impossible to hear your own inner voice, the one that truly knows what you need. Think about how much time we spend scrolling through social media, comparing our lives to perfectly curated highlights of others. We see their successes, their milestones, their smiles, and we start to wonder if we're doing enough or if we're good enough. But here's the reality: those images, those stories are just snapshots of someone else's journey. They don't define you and they don't dictate your path. In 2025, it's time to turn down the volume on what everyone else is doing and focus on what you need to do. Distractions don't just come from the outside, they also come from within. How often do you find yourself worrying about what other people think? How often do you replay conversations in your mind, overanalyzing every word and action? That mental chatter is its own form of noise, and it can be just as disruptive as anything coming from the outside world. To block out the noise, you have to learn to quiet your mind. That might mean practicing mindfulness, taking deep breaths, or simply reminding yourself that not every thought deserves your attention. Another source of noise comes from the constant demands on your time and energy. Everyone wants a piece of you, whether it's work responsibilities, family obligations, or social pressures. It can feel overwhelming, and if you're not careful, you end up living your life based on what others expect of you instead of what you truly want. Blocking out the noise means setting boundaries. It means saying no when you need to and not feeling guilty about it. It's about carving out space for yourself to think, to plan, and to dream without interruption. The key to blocking out the noise is intention. You have to actively choose what gets your attention and what doesn't. That might mean limiting your time on social media, taking breaks from toxic environments, or even reevaluating relationships that drain you more than they uplift you. It's not always easy, but it's necessary if you want to focus on what truly matters. When you block out the noise, something incredible happens. You start to hear yourself clearly. You reconnect with your goals, your values, and your vision for the future. You stop being reactive to the world around you and start being proactive about your own life. The clarity and peace that come with this focus are transformative, so let 2025 be the year you put up the filters, tune out the distractions, and tune into yourself. The world can wait. This is your time. When it comes to achieving true fulfillment, nothing is more important than setting goals that are deeply personal and aligned with who you are. Too often we get caught up in the goals of others, whether it's family expectations, societal pressures, or even the aspirations of friends or colleagues. We join group plans, follow collective ambitions, and sometimes lose sight of what truly matters to us as individuals. While it's natural to want to be part of something bigger, there is incredible power in stepping back and asking yourself, what do I want for me? Personal goals are the foundation of a meaningful life. They allow you to pursue the things that genuinely light a fire within you, the things that excite you and give you purpose. These aren't the goals that someone else thinks you should pursue. They're the ones that come from your own desires and dreams. When you set personal goals, you give yourself permission to step into your authenticity, and that's where real growth happens. One of the challenges of setting personal goals is learning to separate your wants from the expectations of others. This isn't always easy, especially when we live in a world that constantly tells us what success should look like. But here's the thing, success is deeply personal. It's not a one-size-fits-all concept. For some, success might mean climbing the corporate ladder. For others, it could mean starting a small business, becoming more creative, or simply finding balance and peace in their everyday life. You get to define what success looks like for you, and your goals should reflect that definition. Another important aspect of personal goal setting is making sure your goals are actionable and specific to your needs. When you set goals that are tied to your unique circumstances, you're more likely to stay motivated and committed. Maybe your goal is to improve your health, but instead of saying, I want to be healthier, you decide, I want to run a 5K by June. Or perhaps you want to grow in your career, so you set a goal to complete a professional certification or master a specific skill. These kinds of goals are focused, clear, and tailored to you, not to a group, a trend, or anyone else's expectations. It's also important to remember that personal goals require personal accountability. When you set goals with a group, it can sometimes feel like you're relying on others to keep you on track. But with personal goals, it's all on you. This isn't a burden, it's an opportunity. It's a chance to build discipline, self-trust, and resilience. You learn to rely on your own inner strength, and that is one of the most empowering things you can do for yourself. And let's not forget the joy that comes with achieving personal goals. There's a unique satisfaction in knowing that you worked hard for something that mattered deeply to you. It's not about proving anything to anyone else, it's about proving something to yourself. That sense of accomplishment is unmatched because it's rooted in authenticity. As you move into 2025, make a commitment to yourself, set personal goals that are all about you. This doesn't mean you can't collaborate with others or support group efforts, but your primary focus should be on your own growth and happiness. When you take the time to invest in your personal goals, you're not just working toward achievements, you're creating a life that reflects your true self. That's where the magic lies. On of the most powerful, yet often challenging, things you can do for yourself is learning to say no without guilt. It's something that many of us struggle with, especially in a world that constantly demands our time, attention, and energy. We feel an obligation to say yes to every request, to please others, to help, to give, to be available, often at the expense of our own well-being. But here's the truth: saying yes to everyone else means saying no to yourself, and that's something we can no longer afford to do. Saying no doesn't make you a bad person, nor does it mean you're being selfish. In fact, saying no is one of the most self-respecting things you can do. It's an act of acknowledging that your time, energy, and emotional resources are precious and that you can't give them away to everything and everyone without consequence. When you say no, you're setting a boundary that protects your mental health, your time, and your priorities. Many people find it difficult to say no because they fear disappointing others or appearing unkind. We've been conditioned to believe that our worth is tied to our ability to serve others and be constantly available. But what happens when you're always the one giving, always the one showing up, always the one saying yes? You end up drained, overwhelmed, and resentful. Eventually you burn out, and when that happens, you have nothing left to give. Learning to say no means learning to prioritize yourself and your needs. It means recognizing that your health, mental, emotional, and physical matters just as much as anyone else's. It's important to ask yourself, is this request something that aligns with my goals? Will saying yes bring me closer to the person I want to become? If the answer is no, then it's okay to decline, and you don't owe anyone an explanation. There's also an important distinction to make between saying no and saying not right now. You can still honor someone's request without agreeing to it immediately or without overcommitting yourself. Saying not right now allows you to set a boundary while still being respectful and considerate of others. You don't have to apologize for taking care of your own needs, and you don't have to over-explain your decision. Your time is yours, and you have every right to decide how it's spent. Practice presence. In a world that is constantly moving, constantly demanding our attention, it's easy to get caught up in the hustle. We spend our time chasing after goals, planning for the future, or worrying about what's already happened. But the truth is, we can miss out on the beauty of life itself if we're not present in the moment. Being present means fully immersing yourself in whatever is happening right now without distractions or reservations. It means putting down the phone, letting go of the mental to-do list, and just being. When you practice presence, you're not just existing, you are experiencing life in its fullest form. Think about the last time you had a deep conversation with someone and you were truly there, listening with your whole being, engaged in the exchange of thoughts, feelings, and energy. That moment felt alive, didn't it? You didn't need to think about what you were going to say next or whether your phone was buzzing. You were simply there in the moment with that person. This is the kind of presence I'm talking about. It's not just in conversations that we can be present. The act of practicing presence extends to all areas of our lives. Whether you're enjoying a quiet morning with a cup of coffee, taking a walk in nature, or working on a task, being present means showing up fully without distractions. It means immersing yourself in the experience itself rather than mentally rehearsing what comes next. When we practice presence, we also open ourselves to greater peace. There's a calm that comes from knowing we don't have to be anywhere else, doing anything else except exactly where we are. It's the moment when you let go of the rush and allow yourself to just be. This practice also allows us to be more mindful of our thoughts and emotions. We stop reacting to life in autopilot mode and instead we respond with intention. Being present means acknowledging what we feel and giving ourselves space to process it. It's about connecting with our inner world in real time, not just skimming over it or letting it get buried beneath the noise. By practicing presence, we start to see life more clearly. We notice the small, beautiful moments, the way the sun feels on our skin, the sound of laughter, the joy of a simple task done well. These are the moments that fill us up and make life meaningful, but we can only truly experience them when we are fully present. And as we practice presence, we also invite greater peace and clarity into our lives. By slowing down, we become more connected to our purpose and to our hearts. The outside noise fades, and we are left with the profound truth that life is happening now. When you get comfortable saying no, you begin to feel a sense of liberation. You stop living in response to others and start living for yourself. You free up space for the things that truly matter, your personal goals, your passions, and your own peace of mind. Saying no also strengthens your self-esteem because it is a conscious choice to honor your limits and your priorities. You become more intentional with your time, and as a result, you show up more fully when you do say yes to the things that truly matter. In 2025, make a commitment to yourself to say no without guilt. Trust that the right people will understand and the right opportunities will still come your way. You don't have to be everything to everyone. You are enough just as you are, and your boundaries are a reflection of your self-respect. Say no when you need to and watch how it transforms your life, giving you the freedom, energy, and clarity to focus on what truly aligns with your vision for the future. Celebrating every win, big or small, is one of the most important practices you can adopt for your personal growth and well-being. In our fast-paced world, we are often conditioned to focus only on the end goal, the big prize, the grand success. We get so caught up in what we haven't yet achieved that we forget to acknowledge the progress we've already made. But here's the truth, every step forward is worth celebrating, and when you take the time to recognize even the smallest wins, you not only boost your confidence, but also create momentum that propels you toward your bigger goals. It's easy to think that only the big achievements deserve celebration, the promotion at work, the completed project, the major life milestone. But these moments are often few and far between, and if you only celebrate the grand successes, you may miss out on the smaller, yet equally important victories that are happening daily. Maybe you got out of bed when you were feeling tired, or you completed a task that had been weighing on you, or you had a productive conversation that moved you closer to your goals. These wins may seem insignificant in the grand scheme of things, but they're the building blocks of your bigger successes. They deserve recognition. The act of celebrating small wins is powerful because it shifts your mindset. Instead of focusing on what you don't have or what you haven't done, you begin to appreciate what you have accomplished. This mindset shift fosters a sense of gratitude, and gratitude has the power to transform your life. When you celebrate your wins, you acknowledge your hard work, your effort, and your perseverance. You remind yourself that you are capable of achieving your goals, no matter how big or small they may be. And this feeling of accomplishment becomes a source of motivation that drives you to keep going. Celebrating wins also helps to build self-compassion. So often we are our own harshest critics, constantly looking for ways to improve, to be better, and to do more. We may not give ourselves credit for the progress we've made because we're too focused on the next challenge. But when you take the time to acknowledge your successes, you treat yourself with the kindness and respect you deserve. You recognize that you are worthy of celebrating, not just for achieving something, but for showing up and doing your best every day. Another powerful aspect of celebrating every win is that it helps reinforce positive habits. When you celebrate progress, you're reinforcing the behaviors and actions that got you to that point. Maybe you made a healthy choice today, or you stayed focused on your work for an extended period. By celebrating these small wins, you're telling yourself that these actions are worth repeating. You're building a habit of acknowledging and reinforcing the positive steps you're taking, which leads to a snowball effect of continued growth. Celebration doesn't have to be grand or extravagant. It can be as simple as taking a moment to smile, giving yourself a small treat, or reflecting on what you've accomplished. It can be a quiet moment of acknowledgement, where you give yourself a mental pat on the back. It doesn't matter how you celebrate. What matters is that you take the time to recognize your own efforts and achievements. By doing so, you not only boost your mood and motivation, but also strengthen your belief in yourself and your ability to achieve anything you set your mind to. In 2025, commit to celebrating every win, no matter how small it may seem. You're worth it. Your growth, your progress, your perseverance, they all matter, and they all deserve to be acknowledged. So take a moment to appreciate how far you've come and let that sense of accomplishment fuel you as you continue moving toward your bigger goals. Celebrate yourself because you are doing amazing things. In conclusion, as we step into 2025, let this year be the one where you focus solely on yourself, unapologetically and with intention. Prioritize your well-being, nourish your body, mind, and spirit, so that you can show up as the best version of yourself. Block out the noise, cut through the distractions and the opinions of others to listen to your own inner voice. Set personal goals that are aligned with your values, not the expectations of others, and pursue them with unwavering focus. Say no without guilt, because your time and energy are precious, and every no you give is a powerful affirmation of your boundaries and self-respect. And finally, celebrate every win, no matter how small, because each step forward is a testament to your strength, resilience, and progress. 2025 is the year you take control of your life, trust in your journey, and honor your own growth. By embracing these principles, you'll create a life that is true to who you are and aligned with what truly matters to you. The world may pull you in many directions, but when you stay focused on yourself, you'll find the clarity, strength, and confidence to create a future that is truly your own. Here's to making 2025 the year you choose yourself every single day.